All right, peeps, this is Backstage with Sultans of String featuring Demetrios Petsalakis, starting in just a couple of minutes. Let us know where you're watching from. Well, hello everybody. My name is Chris McCool from Sultans of String, and welcome to Backstage, brought to you through the help of Ontario Arts Council. This series runs many Fridays at noon EST, broadcasting live from Burlington, Ontario, where we're collaborating with special guests from our Sanctuary and Refuge albums, many of whom are newcomers to this land, essential Indigenous artists, and global talents who have been ambassadors for peace. Now, that countdown song was with Kevin Laliberté on guitar and Drew Burston on the bass. And in just a moment, we'll get to chat with our special guest, Dimitrios. But first, we'd like to acknowledge and thank the many First Nations and the Métis, from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee to the Huron-Wendat to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation for allowing us to share their traditional lands on which we feel blessed to live, work, and play. And please let us know in the chat, where are you watching from? And while you're there, if you're on Facebook, please hit that like button. And if you're on YouTube, please hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on all these upcoming streams. And we're also broadcasting on LinkedIn and Twitter today. Now, hailing from Athens, Greece, Demetri performs in a variety of styles with a focus on Greek and Middle Eastern lutes. Influenced by the rich cultural diversity of Canada, Demetri incorporates musical elements from different traditions in order to create a contemporary sound that represents both his heritage and the community of which he's a part. He's a really active member of the Toronto world music scene. He's recorded with performed with Kune, Tafelmusik, Ventanas, Ahmed Monica, Near East, Nomadica, Zephyr, Turkwaz, Miriam Toller, Lenka Lichtenberg, Odessa Havana, and the Blue Dot. He is everywhere, man. And please welcome to the Zoom room, Dimitrios. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So great to have you here. I've really been looking forward to this. We love your music. Your contribution on our Refuge album was absolutely fantastic. Hello, Nicole Duval. Merci pour nous rejoindre de Montréal. Now, what is this beautiful instrument you're playing here?
So this instrument is called the bouzouki, or bouzouki. And it's the most popular traditional instrument in Greece, I would say. And it was kind of established in the cities, mainly Athens, not only, but the biggest kind of where it came from, Piraeus, which is close to Athens, and Thessaloniki. And these are like the kind of instruments that people were playing at the cafes and at the kutukia and that kind of thing.
It's a beautiful sound, and right away it brings you to Greece. Actually, I was so glad that you were bringing this today. This instrument goes out to my mother, Robert, who grew up in Cairo, and she was telling me when she was really looking forward to this because they would go out to Alexandria in the summer, and they were staying on top of a flat where someone was playing bouzouki all night, and they went to sleep to that every night.
Nice.
How many strings on that thing? And speak right into the mic for us.
It
so we
has
can hear
8
you.
strings, but they're doubled up. So like the low one is a C, but you can hear the octave, hopefully. And then you hear how there's 2 of them. You can hear a bright one, and then the top ones are the same note. A, D, C, F, A, D.
Very nice.
And this instrument is like a very special instrument to me because it's my first traditional instrument that I got, and I saved up all my money at 8 years old.
Are you serious? You've had that since you were 8?
Since I was 8.
That's
you
beautiful.
can see the bite marks of my first dog right here. He chewed on
Interesting.
it. One time I left it on the couch. And it's been with me since. I've had it forever. It's seen better days, but it still plays and it still sounds great. And I got it special ordered. Not that I knew what I was getting, but I went with my teacher to the luthier's house, and he said, "Okay, come here, let's have a chat, and I'll make something for you." So I talked with the guy, with my teacher there, and then 8 months later, he gave me this
That's beautiful.
for 200,000 drachmes.
Is that a lot?
I mean, at the time, it would be, but I guess now would be like $700, $800 now.
Yeah.
Which is a decent amount. And at the time, it was
For
a
an
lot.
8-year-old.
Yes.
an 8-year-old.
I got that money by singing in a choir for commercials in Greece. So
Are you
that was
at
fun.
age 8? You were already a working musician.
Yeah. I don't know how far you want to go off, but not really working musician. I used to sing in a choir, and we went to a school, so they taught us how to read.
Yeah.
So it was really useful for a lot of ads because we were 8, but we could sight read really well.
Right.
So they go in, 4 of us, they'd throw us the charts, and we'd just, do it. And everybody would book the studios for 6-7 hours, and it would be done in half an hour.
Yeah.
And everybody would just get paid, and everybody was happy.
And so were you, obviously growing up in Athens, you were surrounded by Greek music. So is the music of Greece, is that what you started with? Is that your first music?
Actually, I started with classical music. So my parents' office, they're scientists, they work at a research facility, was right across from a music school. So my dad and my mom, they would take us, they would park at their office, go to work, and send us across the street to go do our music lessons. So from the age of 4, I did piano, classical piano at a really prestigious, I guess the word, conservatory in Athens called Odio Athinon. So that's where I started. But around 7, I started wanting to learn, cooler instruments. Not that I don't love the piano now, but at the time it seemed lame. But this seemed amazing.
Yeah.
So I got one of these, and then my parents. But because I had all the classical training, it was so easy to transfer musical knowledge,
Well, okay, and so all the kids out there who play piano, learning piano, listen to this, because the piano is amazing, right? Because you see all the harmony right in front of you. It's a great way to learn everything you need to know.
Oh, it's amazing. Now I play it. I bring, like a lot of gigs that I do, I'll bring some kind of synth or keyboard because they are also beautiful. It's just, when you're young, you just do as you're told,
And do you ever? So I have a clip here. This is a little bit of a surprise for Demi, but I have a clip here I'm going to play, and we're going to talk about it.
Sure.
Here.
Burning. Burning down, burning down. We're burning down our world. Strike watch it flame. The people are to blame. Burn it. Burn it. Burning down, burning down. We're burning down our world. Strike a match, watch it flame. The people are to blame. Are to blame, are to blame, are to blame. Are to blame, are to blame, are to blame.
Okay, I want to talk about this clip because, and thank you to So Far Sounds for presenting you and letting us use this clip. So you've got a whole other bag going on here. Everything except the voice you're creating with the keyboards and the MIDI.
Yeah, so you send note information to the different synthesizers, and you can build any kind of sound you want. I mean, you know this. So I have at that point I had a crazy setup where I would bring like 3 different synths and a drum machine and a computer. Now it's all like become like this small little, because technology, they have this machine you could do it all in one. But it's fun because you can get this really big sound and you get to shape it. It's a little more like driving a truck rather than driving like a smart,
Yeah,
car.
you can't turn very nimbly.
No.
Too many things, you got to find the buttons.
You gotta find them. But yeah.
And like, where did you learn? Like, I know how someone can learn how to play the piano. You go to your local music store, you go to Long McQuaid, whatever. How do you learn how to do all of that technology? Like,
So funny enough, like YouTube is amazing for that. The other thing is you just try it out. And, these guys that build these new devices, they're so good at making it so intuitive. Like if you have an idea in your head, you get the machine, you start playing around with it. And, it's going to take time still. But it's the same as like this. Like when you first... You're like, oh, how do I make a sound?
Yeah.
Okay, this sound make a sound,
Right.
So the same kind of idea. And also, as much as the pandemic wasn't great for me, especially, it did give me a lot of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of time to experiment with things.
We all learned a bunch of stuff.
And Lauren, who's singing, who's also my wife, like we lived together, so we had time to experiment and try new things. And
there's a silver lining.
yeah. So it's fun because the two of us can have such a big sound and travel very easily.
It's amazing. And now you've got it all in one machine.
Now it fits in my carry-on.
Like, do you ever set all that stuff up at a gig and then something's not working? You start getting hot and sweaty and start rebooting things. And
I usually start with sweating without even getting them out of the case and just praying that I didn't forget that one cable.
The one cable that drives it all.
That drives it all. Yeah.
Now, you brought some other instruments with you, and I really want to introduce some of these to our audience here. Hello, one-man band, whoever you are, thanks for joining us. And Walid, salam, it's great to see you here.
Hey, Walid.
Walid also plays in a million bands. We're so lucky to be able to call him our musical friend and our musical brother here. And if you're watching, please let us know in the chat where you're watching from. What's this? Is this like a miniature bouzouki?
So the bouzouki, there's the family of instruments. So first of all, it comes in 6-string. 6-string is like more old school. In Greece, we actually call it 3-string because they're paired.
Right.
So it's like the 4-string and the 3-string would be the traditional, more traditional. I'm talking about before the 60s. So 60s, the 4th string. And then this one is the smaller one from that family called Baglamas. Mm-hmm. And I'll play you a bit. Just a little bit out of tune, but it's okay.
Yeah, I love that. And that's an instrument that cuts through any mix, right?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. And people love it. They also like it when a big guy plays a small instrument.
Yeah, just for the comedic effect.
For the comedic
Is there a certain style that you would definitely say, okay, I know I need my Baglama for this?
If you're going to play rebetiko music and there's another bouzouki player there,
Right.
Something like that. If you have a big, but so usually the singers will play this and they will strum some chords with it. I mean, there's people that you can play the thing too.
Yeah.
It's like a mandolin. You've heard like mandolin
Yeah,
players.
absolutely. Yeah,
go
it's the one
wild
that
on it.
cuts.
But a lot of times it's like some of the singers will play chords because they're very like rhythmic. We don't have a lot of percussion in Greece. So a lot of the rhythm comes from the strings, either the baglama or guitar or stuff like that. Yeah.
Waleed's going to be on the show later on. I think the end of June he's going to be on. We're
Amazing.
really looking forward to
Waleed
that.
and I work together all the time.
In which band?
We play with Ahmed Muneka's group
course.
together. We play with Miriam's
Yeah.
group together. We play in all sorts of random band
Random
assortments.
configurations.
And sometimes you just see him there. You don't even know he's on the gig because it's so good.
What else have you got there? You've got like you've got a bowed instrument as well.
So this instrument is called Lyra.
I love the Lyra. Precursor to the violin. That must be older than the Western violin, the classical
I'm not
violin.
sure about that actually.
Um,
I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure. I wouldn't, because I thought so. That's the reason I'm saying it, and somebody can look it up and tell me.
yeah.
But this version of Lyra in Crete, which is where it's from the island, seems to be happening around the same time as the violin. They can't prove that the violin came after. But maybe what came before the violin is like a different version of this style
Yeah.
of instrument. But the big
It's
difference
not an
is-
accident that they look almost identical in the way the fingerboard and the. But that one has metal tuning pegs, which I can really appreciate.
Not only does it have metal tuning pegs, but they put 4 of them, even though there's 3 strings.
Oh, okay.
And the reason they do that is because they come in pairs. It's as simple as that. They come in pairs. So they just put them
Right.
like that. Many of them. I
Well-
mean, some of them, they put the extra, but I mean,
I think you can charge more, like the more strings you appear to have, the more you can charge for the
I
gig.
think so.
The
I
wedding
think so.
gig. Okay, let's hear this instrument.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I should say is the big difference is instead of pressing down the string, you play, I don't know how to show this, like this maybe.
Oh,
You play it on the side like that. You see where my finger is?
yeah.
Like you don't actually press the string, you play it on the side. with your
very
nail.
interesting.
And then you can get this kind of sound, like this.
That is beautiful. And Max, another one of our wonderful musical friends here, drummer to every band that I love in Toronto, he's saying, what is this jingle bow? What's he talking about?
So I think, hey Max, what's up, buddy? He's talking about this guy.
Where is
I
the
think.
jingle bow? Okay.
So these are traditionally would be bells from hawks, from hunting.
Okay.
Like the bell, they would put them on the hawks when they used to use them for hunting. But it's in big. Here, let me back a little bit. So in the island of Crete, there used to be Venetians, like from ancient times, and I think they brought these kind of bells because nobody in Crete hunted with hawks, but somehow they found that. So what you do is while you're playing, I will mute the string so you can hear the bells. You play the rhythm like a drum.
More cowbell.
So you can go. I'm not gonna play the whole dance, but it's used.
That's amazing.
It's used for dancing, so people, this instrument is largely for dances, traditional dances in Crete. I mean, people do all sorts of crazy things with it, but that's kind of the tradition where it came from, weddings and
And it also worked really well in a Christmas show with the bells.
with the bells.
And I know that you have at least one more instrument in there.
Yeah, well, we have the oud.
The oud, which is the electric guitar of the Middle East. Here,
It's
let me.
basically the electric guitar of the Middle East. Yes, it's true.
This is a beautiful instrument, and this has 11 strings on it, right?
It has 11 strings and is tuned. I mean, you guys will hear it too. So one big thing that's amazing is it's fretless. That allows us to play different kinds of scales. And it has 11 strings. The last one is by itself. It's a low C, like a cello.
Yeah.
I want to see. And you find different kinds of tunings.
Hello, Petite, by the way. Petite is coming over later today, and she's joining us for our Environmental Defense Earth Day fundraiser tonight.
Awesome.
So this is going to be fun.
Hey, Padide. This is the oud. For me, it's an amazing instrument. Like, it's kind of changed my life quite drastically because it opened up a lot of doors. First of all, because there's not many people that play this in Toronto. So it was amazing, and people need it, the instrument in their ensembles. But also because as much as I love the Greek instruments that I play, they have a very specific sound to me. Mm-hmm. Whereas the oud is a little more like a guitar, where you'll find it in Morocco, Algeria, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, all the way to Iraq, like the same instrument. So that opened doors for me to play with all these different kind of cultures and study about it. I studied with Bassam Bishara.
Oh, Bassam's amazing.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful instrument. I love it too. I love all of them, but
Now, not having frets, so that allows you to play a lot of microtones.
Yeah.
If you're for the Western music listeners here, a piano, you've got the keys, and you can't really play in between the notes. If you want to get that effect, sometimes you can play a couple of keys that are right beside each other at the same time to try and get a bluesy sound. But if you could demonstrate for us a little bit about how you can play in between the Western scale notes.
So the way we come, and actually, like any style of music, when you sing, you naturally do it. Like a lot of times we're not out of tune. It's just where our ears will naturally go. But I'll simplify it and do like a very basic thing. So most scales in the Middle East are based on 4-note structures. So let's say it was major, right? D major would be like. That's what they would be considered. Maybe they go to the A. Cool. So that's kind of what they call ajam. But and then they can do something called hijaz. So far it's all piano notes. So what happens is now I'm gonna start changing the second note. So we're gonna go. You hear how that's a little out of tune in your ears, maybe? Versus if it was flat. Right? So that's when we start messing with tuning. And depending on who you're playing with, let's say we were playing with someone from Egypt, they would go. If you were from Greece, you'd probably go. Yeah.
So really, like to play the oud and to play in many different styles representing many different countries, you kind of have to almost have perfect pitch or at least incredibly developed sense of pitch to hear all those commas, all those micro tunings.
It's just a matter of time. To be honest, it's just a matter of time. At first, you can't hear it. Like, I couldn't hear it at first. And then you get more and more in tune. And the best way to do it, especially if you're starting, is put a recording of somebody that plays, playing in quarter tones, and just match them. Because you can hear that always. You know.
Well, that's true of pretty much any style of music. Like, I love the classical technique that I learned as a kid, but no matter what style you want to learn, like if you can use your ears, you're really going to be miles ahead. Now, do you teach? Because Jimmy is saying he has an oud, but he needs a teacher. Do you teach oud?
I do not. I stopped teaching a while ago. I taught for a very long time, not just oud, just guitar and everything, and it just seemed to get in the way. Like the student, I couldn't, as much as I love teaching.
It's tough. Like the timing is tough.
Yeah, because we're playing and we're traveling, and
Yeah. It's
I'm
tough.
happy to show anybody anything that they want if they want to hang out. But it's I understand that like it requires a commitment, right? People are spending time and they want to do something. So I stopped doing that once I started really playing all the time.
We had another request on Facebook. Someone, when I posted you playing, was like, "Oh, I need an oud teacher." So are there any oud teachers in Toronto?
So there is Canadian Arabic Orchestra in Mississauga.
Yes, definitely.
They have oud teachers there.
Canadian Arabic Orchestra. Look that up, CAO. And they have a whole music school. It's fantastic. Oud, violin, percussion, anything you want to learn, piano. That's great.
And they're very community-based.
They're wonderful people, and they put on great shows. Definitely go see a show sometime if you can. Well, let's play a song with the oud. There's a song that we did on our Refuge album called Summer in Tehranto, if you can get the pun. And we're going to be patching in our friends Amir Amiri playing the santur, the dulcimer. You've got Nagme Faramand on daf, the frame drum, Chendi Leon on drums, and Gundamieli Grubu, the string group from Turkey. And let's see if we can patch them all in now. Well done. Beautiful. I love the sound of the oud.
Thank you.
People should definitely try and catch you in your various projects. In the link, we put your Instagram link, your Ventanas, your Kune, Kachfaya, Mosquito Bar with Ahmed Monica, Near East, your Spotify link. There's pretty much someone can go out any night of the week and catch you playing with some band, which is just amazing. Before we play our last song, is there anything in particular that you would want to share about Greek culture? I know you travel back and forth to Greece and you get to live in both worlds, I guess, a little bit, especially with the music. Is there anything that you'd want to share?
What I would like to share about Greece is there's a lot of different sides of every place, right? So, for example, today I played some bouzouki, I played some Lyra, I played some oud, and that's one thing about Greece is it's very rich in kind of the diversity of the people and the sound in it, because there's a very large changing landscapes. Some people are living on an island, some people live in mainland, some people live up on the mountains. So if you're interested in Greek music, there's like a very rich tradition and culture, and that I have just scratched the surface of it. And
is there of all the places in Greek you can visit? And I went there with my family a couple of years ago, and we had the trip of our lives. Such a beautiful country. We visited a few islands, but someone wanted to go to the music island. Which one would that be?
Interestingly enough, you probably have to go to a main city, but don't go during the peak of the summer because that will be too hot.
Yeah.
Athens in August.
That's what we did.
You're gonna live under an AC.
That's what we did. Athens in August. Oh.
But there's most places they have some kind of like tavernas or especially if they're like a little touristy, they'll have music for sure. But if you want to see the deep cuts, you have to go to Athens or Thessaloniki or one of the main cities. In the fall or in the spring or something like that. Our winter doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Well, let's play one more song. This is called The Road to Kafarmishkin. If you would like to introduce it with an oud intro, I think that would sound great. Just before we play this, just a reminder to folks, we've got lots more backstage live streams coming up. We have their next one, actually, we're taking a break for a month while we go on tour. We've got Amanda Martinez coming in on May 20th. But tonight, we've got a very special show. Starts at 7 o'clock. Tickets still available. Well, it's an online show. And we've got an incredible crew coming to join us tonight. We've got Juno Award nominee for this year, Donnie Roberts and Yukiko Tsutsui joining us. We've got Dr. Duke Redbird, Indigenous Elder. We've got Tim Gray. Pedide, an incredible tar player, is going to be coming. She's going to be here with us in the studio. Saskia Tompkins playing nickel harpa. Juan Carlos Medrano with a song from the 2022 Juno Award Engineering category, and more. So yeah, please come join us tonight. All of those details up on our website, where you can also keep in touch with the band at sultansofstring.com. And okay, here we go. Let's take this in.
Well, thanks so much. Demetrios, you're fantastic.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having me.
such an incredible treat to have you here. Thanks for joining us, Nicole. Always great to have you with our broadcast. And thanks to everyone for joining in here. And yes, celebrate Earth Day today. It is a very special day. And so we will be broadcasting later on, 7 o'clock. You can check out details at sultansofstring.com. Very important Earth Day virtual benefit concert for environmental defense here. What else do we have to say? Just a few people to thank. If you guys want to play a little bit of music in the background. Thanks to our collaborators, especially Dimitrios, who joined us here today with a truckload of instruments, and so far Tehranto for allowing us to play a little bit of that video. Thanks to our tech team of John Bailey and Guillermo Suboste. Our admin team of Kevin, Lisa, Dave, Tanya, Christine, Max, Eric. We're so grateful. Fontana, CEN proper. Rick and Marianne Chester, the best friends a musician could ever have. Steve and Brent from Yamaha Canada. We're playing all the Line 6 pedals here in the Zoom room. Ontario Arts Council for very generously supporting this project. And all of you for tuning in. Lots of love, and we'll see you soon. Support Demetrios, buy his music, hire him to play at your event, amplify his voice, and we'll see you out there on the road. Yeah, Waleed, looking forward to having you in the house. End of June. Jamming with the Lyra. Awesome. We will bid you adieu. Love to you all. And we'll see you soon.